It doesn't matter if you're on the chase to creating the perfect picanha or if you have some trouble making a really good picanha. Because I'm going to show you how to make the perfect picanha roast.
Big thanks to Napoleon Grills for sponsoring this episode.
Look at this thing, it's already beautiful. This is an exceptionally good piece of meat. But how can you tell? How are you sure that this is a good piece of meat and something else isn't? Well, if you're buying picanha, you're looking for a beautiful dark red meat, of course, and then you want to have a fat cap. Something like this that sits on top of the picanha. If the fat cap's not there, don't buy it. It's not the picanha for you. The second thing you want to look out for is a little bit of marbling. Fat running through the picanha, because that is going to make your picanha exceptionally juicy and tender. Another thing that you need to be looking out for is the amount of silver skin that sits underneath the fat cap. Do you have a super thick piece of silver skin sitting underneath that fat cap? Then your picanha is going to be a little bit tougher than it needs to be. Because if you look at the thickness of this, then there's almost no silver skin. It's there, but if you slice into it, you won't notice it while you're chewing on it. All right, now this thing of course needs to be cooked, and we're going to do it to perfection. But to prepare it for cooking, we need to take a few steps. We're going to flip this around so it sits with the fat cap towards you. Then you're going to take a sharp knife and you're going to start carving into the fat cap. If you cook in picanha steaks, you have a different process. We need to focus on the one thing at hand. You only have one job to do here. We're going to do what most people do when they cook in picanha, and that is cooking it as a roast, serving it up table side. If you're going to put it on a rotisserie, we're going to have a whole other story, and you need to be watching that video instead of this one. As you can see, I'm carving into the fat cap, opening it up a little bit. I'm not carving all the way through. I'm just opening up the fat. Then I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees and start carving again. If the fat is a little deeper, you can cut a little deeper. There we go. Now you can see we basically created all these little cubes sitting on top of the picanha. And that is really important because we don't want to eat the fat cap as a whole. We want it to render down while we're cooking. And to make sure that that happens, I have a little trick. And it involves salt. And the salt that I'm using is a finishing salt, a pyramid salt, which means that the structure of the salt is big crystals and the density of the salt is very, very low. So this amount of salt is not going to taste salty, but it's going to melt down really well when you cook it. You see how much I'm putting on? I'm just rubbing it in between the fat, getting it in there. Now, at the bottom side, I don't have any seasoning yet. I'm just going to take a little bit of salt that sits on the board, just going to put the picanha steak on and just soak it up a little bit. And this picanha is now ready and waiting for us to put it on the barbecue. So let's fire it up. Put in a couple of fire starters, light them up, and then I'm going to wait until the briquettes are lit. Then all you have to do is put on a chunk of smoke wood like this. Now this is oak, but you can also use beech or you can use cherry. Just be mindful of the fact that you're cooking a picanha. Don't over smoke a picanha because we don't have to do too much to it. Put the grill grates on and then place the picanha with the thickest part pointing towards the briquettes. This is our direct side, and from here we have our indirect side, which is quite a large surface, and it will make sure that our picanha will slowly cook. So I'm going to close the lid, I'm going to open up the top vent all the way, and I'm going to close the bottom vent to the first position, which is almost all the way closed, and that's what you're looking for. Close it as far as you can so you get a good grip on that temperature. If you let it run up fast, then you're going to be in trouble because it's going to overshoot over that 120 degrees Celsius, 240 degrees Fahrenheit. That's what you want to stay away from. So I got it properly set up right now, and now I'm going to wait until I hit the temperature that I'm looking for. And that means staying next to the grill. Over the course of 2.5 hours, my picanha slowly crept up to a core temperature of 54 degrees Celsius. And I really want to take it off right now. This is about medium rare, but look at this thing. It has such a beautiful crust. I'm just going to demonstrate that. Listen to this. See? That fat rendered down, and together with the salt, it created something crusty, crunchy, and delicious. This technique that we just used is part of the reverse sear technique, but we're just going to give it 10 minutes of time to stop cooking. Set it aside, and in the meantime, we're going to make a delicious chimichurri. And this is a delicious fresh parsley, which I'm going to chop fine. I'm going to put this straight in a bottle. And that's going to be my chimichurri bottle, which is super helpful when you're serving things up. The next ingredient is oregano. Just peel the fresh leaves off the stalk. I'm not going to need too much oregano, about half the amount I would use of parsley. And I've got about 2 tablespoons of parsley. And oregano is mandatory. I like to play around with my recipe of chimichurri. I got a good basic version, of course, on a website. But I love to play around with it, and as a matter of fact, if you know what that is, please comment down below. It's the weirdest looking thing ever, but it smells like lemon. The amount of fragrance that comes off this is insane. I want to make maximum use of it, so I'm going to grate the outside so we get a little bit of zest out of this fruit. A little bit of zest. I'm going to slice this up. Look at that. Can you guess now? There we go. In go the juices. Now normally for my chimichurri I would use a red wine vinegar. Of course I gotta have some olive oil, and we have about a tablespoon worth of that juice. So I'm gonna add 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And if you're using table salt, then in goes a teaspoon of table salt, but this is my finishing salt. So I'm going to add 2 tablespoons. Now on goes the lid. Give it a good shake. And the chimichurri is done. Of course you can play around with your chimichurri. It's not going to be the authentic original recipe, but it's going to taste so good. Let's test this. Whoa, that is good. Time to open up the Napoleon kettle grill. Let the coals start raging and get some heat out. Time to sear off the picanha with the fat cap towards the heat. You can hear the sizzle coming. You can hear the fat dropping down into the coals. And that's what we need for now. Mild and gentle heat. That's more than enough. Look at that. That's enough searing. Now there is no more need for resting. Now there's only need for slicing. Now the whole thing with slicing is that you want to cut against the grain. It's very easy to determine where the grain runs. Just look on the meat side and you will find these little nooks and crevices that tell you in which direction it runs. So if you're serving this up, you just want to go against the grain. And now you see what we've been working on all this time. We got edge-to-edge pinkness. Meat juices are staying in the meat. We got rendered out fat. This is as close as you're gonna get to perfect picanha. Now let's cut this against the grain and serve it up. You can see that it's running from above to on top. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make another cut right here. And I always recommend just doing this table side. Do this for your guests. They will have an amazing experience if you serve them up slices. Some people just don't pay attention and they don't understand, and their experience will not be as good as it can be. So I just recommend doing this. I'm not naming any specific uncles or aunties or mother-in-laws, but every family has the person. You tell them, cut it against the grain. Cut it against the grain. I cut it this way so you can cut it against the grain yourself. And then they never do, and then they blame you. Perfect juicy slice of beef. And this now needs to be tested. That is so good. To me, this is better than ribeye. And of course, I would love to hear your opinion on that. Do you think it's better than ribeye, or do you think, I'd rather have ribeye? And we're going to build up a nice plate. Course on a warm plate. Shake up the chimichurri. That looks straight out of a Michelin star restaurant. And honestly, let me know how you feel about your picanha and the way you like to cook it. Do you like to put it on a rotisserie? Would you rather have a roast? What do you think of my roast? Don't roast me over my roast, but I absolutely love it. Cheers guys. Hope to see you in the next video.